We're looking at a mile marker. Ooh, excuse me. We're looking at a broken winch is what we're looking at. And it was my fault. I was using it to extricate the Suburban out of a snowbank. I was doing a side pull. I allowed the cable to ride up really high on this part of the drum, and it pushed up against these. I guess I only broke that back one. Pushed up against this back bar and busted it free. These are kind of important, from what I understand, to add stability to either end of the drum here. So, I'm going to see what I can do, what I can come up with to figure out the best way to fix that. I know JB Weld won't fix it, so let me start taking some things apart. Let's take a look at her, and then we'll go from there. Well, I don't know about tested to the extreme. This pot metal sure didn't hold up as well as I like it to, but I mean, as you can tell, I broke this before. I had two non-factory bolts holding these because I had snapped those previously, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I've had this since 2001. I think it's when I bought it. It was 01, and I've used it a lot over the years, a lot, and it's worked quite well. I pulled trees, I pulled other vehicles, I pulled my vehicle in and out of ditches, up hills, so it's definitely earned its keep over the last 15, 16 years. And I do have it on this removable carrier simply because I live by the coast, and if I left this out in the weather, they just don't hold up. And this just gets it inside the vehicle, or I can put it inside my garage when I'm not using it. And then I can transfer it from rig to rig because I just wire. I think I've showed you this before. I've got it wired to one of these power outlets, standard, what you see. I've got jumper cables that are wired to this off the back of the Suburban. I have to run some power leads to the back of the Dodge so I can have this as well on that. But all my vehicles have that plug into it, all the ones I've had, so this is just kind of moved around without having to have a dedicated winch for a dedicated vehicle. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grind these guys off. I've got a band of stainless steel here. It's 1/8 inch thick stainless. And yeah, do a break in it, do a 90, have it come around here, tie into the bottom of this foot, have it come up. Two of them meet here in the center, which I can tighten down with a bolt. And then I'll weld ears, TIG weld ears onto either side of the strap, and then I can put these stay bars back on to give it some stability. I think that's going to have to be the way. So let me unbolt this from the hitch carrier here, and let's see what kind of trouble we can get into. This actually makes it easier for me to grind this off, this ear off, trim, kind of dollop this little ear here, and then make my strap. Originally I was going to have the strap bind. I'm going to do it all one continuous piece of stainless. Originally I was going to have the two ends made up here on top, but that just makes it busy on top. I can put it on the back here, which will be facing the vehicle that it's on, and then have it compressed with a stainless bolt, which I've got to go get from the garage. I don't have much stainless steel hardware out here. I got a whole mess of it in the garage. So I'm going to get some stainless bolts. This isn't horrible. We can make this happen. I'm feeling good, which means I'm going to totally screw this up. Awesome. So it's been like 2 weeks since I even looked at this thing. I don't quite remember where I left off in the last video. I guess I'll figure that out in editing, but I pulled the cable off the drum because it was getting in my way. I separated the motor from the transmission, I guess, or gear assembly, whatever you want to call it, clutch and gear assembly. Cleaned everything out, put some new grease on there, some fresh grease. And we're going to put her back together. These are the brackets, how they came out. I think they're going to work out delightfully. Yeah, I'll be able to clamp that down. Similar on the other side. I'm not doing it with one hand. Anyway, I'm going to put all this together and then we'll keep on moving. So I need to move this out of the way because I'm not going to be stepping on this chunk of cable. I forget how long that is. I want to say it's 75 feet. I honestly don't remember. It's been 15 years since I've replaced it, so it's probably due. I know it's got a couple errors on it. A couple errors from use. That's a flat spot there where I pinched it against something at some point in time, but that's not for this job. This job we're going to get her back together and get her on here, and at the rate we're going, I'll be getting Suburban home in May. Did a little milling project. It was pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. I didn't take any video of it because that's just the way my days have been going. So I'm going to set you guys down for a minute. Let's put this together. Let's see how these brackets work out, and I'll bring you back in just a minute. So that's how that laid out. I think these are going to work delightfully. I was just making sure old Skipperoo stopped by, and we're playing. Oops, wrong way. Everything works. We put power to the motor. It works in forward, power in, and power out. These seem to work pretty doggone decent. And we're on like plan L or plan Q, I forget now. Originally I was going to take and weld a couple nuts like that, and then be able to do that. But these nuts don't go all the way down here. Anyway, I think what's going to happen is I'm just going to weld these directly onto here. There's no reason why I can't knock this down into its component parts with these stays. I'll just call them steel stays. Will be welded to the brackets. I think that's the way to go. I think that's stronger than trying to weld a nut here and thread it. There's really no reason to, because I could slide these out of the, right? That's the whole purpose of having these things bolt off, unbolt, so you can take the winch apart, remove the drum. But that doesn't need to be anymore, because this is disassociated from this once you loosen this to make this to go for that. Alright, let's go crack out the TIG welder. I'm going to wash my hands because you know everything's got to be clean with a TIG welder, and then we'll get back messing with this. So I'll be right back. So we fast forward 3, maybe 4 weeks from the last video. Things just got hectic. They usually do. I believe this is going to be strong enough. This is where it failed. One of the points where it failed. I took a flapper disc and I ground off the little nubs, the cast-in nubbins. This thing is super solid. Super solid. What I'm going to do, and I waffled, I don't know if, again, I can't remember if I talked about this in the last video, but I waffled about being able to remove these stays, these cross stays, and I don't think I need to. I got it before when the cast nubs were in each one of these ends, the clutch end and the electric motor end. In order to service this, you need to be able to unbolt these stays. The way it's currently set up, I just need to loosen this, and loosen this, pinch, and then this can slide back, the drum will drop right out. So instead of making more complication, I was going to take a couple nuts and weld them there and then bolt it through. That just seems like that's more of a point for failure versus me being able to directly weld this. Put that under my chin. To be able to directly weld it onto this chunk of stainless, I'll be able to weld all the way around. Yeah, I think that'll work. Alright, let me get the TIG welder out and let me set you guys up on the arm, wherever the arm is, and we'll come back in just a minute. Alright, so back in we go. It's about a week, probably a week and a half later. That's just how my scheduling's been. I got in here and I cleaned this up with a flapper disc, and I was going to start. Got the TIG welder all set up, ready to go, and then realized that the batteries in my welding hood were dead. And then I realized that my little spark hat here that I wear over my skull cap smelled like death, and my sweatband, the sweatband on my, oh, so much nicer, on my welding helmet smelled nasty, and it was like really funky and sweaty. So yeah, like I was looking for an excuse not to carry on. So so I took a break, and then the week came, and then there it is. So let me pop these batteries in. And yeah, we'll get welding. Maybe we'll put this one to rest. So we'll be right back here in just a minute. Buddy. Hello. Good dog. Okay, now we'll be back for sure. Hi. Go outside. Buddy. Alright, so that's how that welded out. That's probably a whole lot stronger than what was there before. Sorry, that was probably a whole lot stronger than what was there before. I'm going to take that cable and I'm going to redo it on the drum here, and I'm not going to show you that process. I've got to actually bolt this back on first, of course, run the wires. But the process I have for that is I'm going to stick that in the back of the Dodge and hook a battery up to it, and then I'm going to pull the Dodge into it, because you want to have the best way to spool this. Oh, friggers, that's hot. The best. Take two. Your best bet on getting that cable in there is you want the cable tight and you want it laid flat, right? You want it to lay nice and even across, back and forth, with no overlaps of the cable. Because then that put kinks in it, but you want tension on it, because then it doesn't squish itself so good. So I'll plug this in the back of the Dodge. I'm going to put that end around the telephone pole, and then I'll pull the Dodge back towards the telephone pole with the emergency brake like half on, let's say, and then I'll guide it by hand. So I need two hands. I need to pay attention. I'm not going to show you that. That's just what I'm going to do. I'll bring you back when this is all done, and then we can call this project complete. Alright, so yeah, here it is in the daylight. What I ended up doing was just plugging this into the back of the truck. I actually drove over to Skippy's, and we grabbed a hold of his truck. This actually is 100 feet worth of cable, and then set the e-brake on his truck and then dragged it in so we could keep this under tension. This last wrap got a little loose here, but it's the top wrap, so I really wasn't that worried about it. I think it'll work out all right. These have to be stronger. Than the cast iron crap that was there before, and this is strong. These brackets are strong. There you go. Now I just need to wait. Last I checked, Suburban update, 40 inches of snow, and they got about 10 inches of snow 3 nights ago, in addition to the 40 that was already on the ground around the truck. So it could be another, I don't know, 4 to 6 weeks before I get that Suburban home. Not in a hurry, though. I got plenty of other stuff to do. All right, there it is. This is a video that's like 6 weeks in the making. It's just the way it works sometimes. Gotta go, gotta run. See ya.